fucking fast as fuck, boy. I don't think
You right there, mate? Right, okay, so before I get into it, for those who are wondering where part 11 is, don't worry, 15 minutes after this video has been uploaded, part 11 will be coming out. Simply put, if you remember back with 7 Days to Die how I uploaded episode 0.5, this is no different, as in, I've got a fairly lengthy intro plans for a video, but with how lengthy it was, it didn't feel right to, do that speech in the video, but instead upload it as a separate video alongside it. Now, the topic that I wanted to talk about is regarding this playthrough of Stranger's Wrath. Two things have happened, and I feel as if it's spoiling the mood. And to say how it is, there is no argument. Basically, the cutscenes are being flagged for copyright. Now, regarding copyright, I've got no argument against it. It's no secret that I use a lot of sound effects and I use music in my videos. So, simply put, if anything gets flagged for copyright and there's no way around it, the solution is just don't use it. Because at the end of the day, someone owns the right to whatever, and that should be respected. So 99% of the time, I'm 100% in support of that. Here's the thing, the reason why I say 99% of the time is because there are occasions where I do feel it's outright frustrating and unnecessary. Granted, that's just my opinion, but here's the thing that reinforces my opinion. Now, moving away from Stranger's Wrath, if we go way back when, to, what was it? Grabbed by the Ghoulies. So even before using Facecam. I believe it's episode 16, where I'm clearly annoyed at the game, and the way I edited it was I basically cut a bunch of bits, threw them together, and you've got Can-Can playing. Classic music. Now, here's the thing when it comes to classic music. I could be quoting this wrong. But when it comes to copyrights, I believe if the artist that created whatever, 70 years, again, I could be wrong, but I believe 70 years after they pass, anyone can use that stuff. Classic music, of course, being a prime example. So I used Can-Can in that video, didn't get flagged for copyright, everything was fine. But then when I made a compilation, taking a clip from my own video and then making another video of it, that got flagged for copyrights. So you can see why I said before 99% of the time I'm okay with it, but it's that 1%. My own video that I made was being flagged for copyrights. That really pissed me off, I'm not gonna lie. So to say how it is, I don't know if anyone's actually noticed it, but if you watch the clip from the part 16 video, you will notice that the music just starts playing, whereas in the compilation it fades in. That is why, because my own video that I created got flagged for copyrights. So it does frustrate me. But regarding Stranger's Wrath, again, there's no arguments. If it gets flagged for copyrights and someone owns the rights to whatever, again, the solution is to just not use it. But when it comes to it being a cutscene, it's a little bit tricky then, isn't it? So, of course, the solution that I went for was to outright mute it. Now, let's go back to the first episodes. It's all visual. So, whereas I do believe it's an epic cutscene, with it being muted, it does kind of spoil it a bit. But at the end of the day, you're technically not missing much. So, it was annoying, but to put it simply, I just accepted it and moved on. But what did irritate me about the last episodes is you've got episode 10, you've got a 3-minute cutscene, and the entire thing had to be muted because of copyrights. And unlike the first cutscene in the first episode, there was an awful lot of dialogue in that cutscene, and to say how it is, that dialogue is fairly important to understand what's going on in the story. The plot of the story is developed to the point where, well, the best way of wording it is people are going to miss out because without a doubt, there are going to be people who chose to skip it. And we're talking, you've got those who simply can't be arsed reading. And let's face it, it's no secret that I have dyslexia. And if you've seen the state playthrough, you will know that put it simply, even as an adult, I still struggle to read. I've got to take in consideration that there are individuals watching these videos who either struggle to read as much as I do, if not worse. So whereas I do have the subtitles there for you to read, I've got to take in consideration that there are going to be people who choose to skip it or simply can't read it. And with that being an important cutscene, I do feel as if that yous have missed out. So, whereas, we're talking, this has been a fairly fucking lengthy speech as it is, but to wrap things up, I wanted to give a quick rundown as to what happened in that cutscene for those who skipped it. Okay, so you got this chicken boy who's basically like, alright mate, cheers for all the work, but guess what, we got no more work, while your character's just stood there like, are you fucking serious, mate? And the chicken boy just goes, well, look at this. Turns out we've got something else. So you're like, okay, how much you want for it then? Okay, let's just get the fella on the blower, see what he's got to say then. So he calls him up and he's like, alright fella, looks like we got a bounty hunter here who wants to do the job for you. So of course he's like, get him on the fucking phone then. So, you pick up the phone and you're like, alright mate, tell you what, I'll do it for 20k. And he's like, wait, what? 20k? Well, if you're going to get me this thing for 20k, it better be fucking fresh. And I was like, don't you worry, mate. Don't you fucking worry about nothing. I'll get that fucking sorted. And he's like, alright then, cool beans. And he hangs up. And while Stranger is stood there sucking on a lemon, you got the Kingpin who's calling up his mate. He's like, alright, Jimmy. It turns out we've got a bounty hunter who reckons he can get me what I want. Wait, what? He's chatting out of his ass. Those creatures don't run round here. They're all fucking gone. I was like, well, apparently he knows where to get one. So here's a fun little idea. Why don't you go ahead and fucking mug him? That way you can get the fucking 20k. Sound cool? And he's like, alright, boss. Sounds like a plan. Then he's like, alright, lads, come on. We've got a job to do. So, yeah. I hope that my version of the cutscene helps clarify things for those who chose to skip it. Again, I do apologise for the fact that I do have to mute them, because to say how it is, the fact that it's happened twice now, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm going to have to do it again. If I've got to do it again, it is what it is. Again, I've got no argument against copyrights. Like I said before, when it comes to Grab by the Ghoulies, there are occasions where it's outright frustrating and unfair, but 99% of the time, you've got no arguments. Technically, what's happening with this playthrough is no difference. As in, I've got no arguments, the background music or background sound effects are owned by someone else and it's being flagged, fair enough. But I can't lie, I just feel as if it's spoiling the mood for the playthrough. So again, I do apologise, and yeah, hope you enjoy part 11.
Like and subscribe.
Da 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 da.